Hi, this is CK at CK Education, and today I want to talk about whether you should take the SAT or the ACT. Now, I primarily do SAT prep, and I'll tell you why, but some of my students do take the ACT as well. But if a student just did no study at all, they took the SAT and they took the ACT and they just took it, one after the other, let's say, or on different days, I think that for the most part, that students get fairly equivalent scores. I usually don't see someone getting really high in one or really low in the other. It's usually they're both about the same, okay? However, I found over the years that it's easier to raise scores on the SAT than it is on the ACT, primarily because the ACT has a science section. And I think that the science section is the most difficult part to prep for, to teach, to raise the score, because it really is not about science at all. It's not about biochemistry, physics. It's not about any of those science, core academic science subjects at all. It really is just about reading a passage and doing some data analysis, reading tables, reading graphs, and things like that. It's really more of a quantitative analysis section. It's not really a science section. I don't know why they call it that. And so it's more of what I think is a logic section. And it's very hard to teach logic. It's very hard to teach that. It's very hard to raise that score. So if you're taking the ACT and you just bomb the science section, I would say probably take the SAT, okay? But if you do very well on the science section, then you might consider taking the ACT. But I do say that you should probably take both. If you're doing SAT prep and you do very well on the SAT, I don't think there's any reason for you to take the ACT, but you can, and many of my students do. What I teach in math and reading and writing are directly applicable to the ACT. So when my students are done with SAT, some of them take the ACT as well, and that's totally fine. But again, I think the science section is the sort of throws a monkey wrench in the whole thing. But it's not difficult, but it's if you're not good at that kind of thing, I think it's more difficult to become good at that. Whereas in SAT you have reading, writing, and math. Those are three sections that are easier to prep a student on. So that's my opinion on it. That's been my experience with it. But now, as far as which one should I submit to colleges if I took both, you just submit the better one. Now, do some colleges require one or the other? Do some colleges require just the SAT or just the ACT? No, they'll all take either the SAT or the ACT if they're taking standardized tests. And so, you could go either way. Whichever one you did better on, you just submit that one and then be on your way. Now, remember, when you submit these, they never get automatically submitted. You have to go and for SAT, you got to go to College Board and have them send the scores to the colleges. So remember to do that. But that's the SAT versus ACT sort of discussion. Okay, so I'm CK at CK Education. Thanks for watching, and until my next video, I hope you stay well.